Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to be painting a fire horse for the Lunar New Year 2026. So I went on the internet and I found this beautiful fire horse. I like these numbers, so I cut them out and put them there. I traced this with water-soluble tracing paper. You can go over all of this with ink if you want ink, or you can use non-water soluble tracing paper. The colors that I'm using today are just a tiny bit of permanent alizarin crimson. This is not a paint I've been using lately. Hansa yellow medium, permanent rose, and some Daniel Smith quinacridone gold. This paint here is not the old one. This is the new one. Oh my gosh. This is the old one. Oh, I have a bit of it left. And I might use some of this Daniel Smith metallic watercolor pale gold dust. Looks like that. I used it on the letters. I tried it on one letter. I'm not sure I like it. So those are the colors I'm going for. I just got a little gold dust there. I blew it off. And I'm going to start with the letters. The way that I'm going to do this, the numbers. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to use a scratcher to make the little twisty line, the dark lines in there. So I'm going to wet this a little bit. And now I'm going to start with the gold. I can't believe I put that much of that. That's my last tube of the real old one. Oh my God, it's so beautiful, this color. Okay, so I want to paint this kind of fast so you guys aren't totally bored. So I'm going to start with the gold, and then I'm going to add a little bit of this red and see what happens. Not that much. Just maybe up here. I'm just gonna mix it in. Not really loving that color. I'm gonna try to make a nice red with permanent rose and my yellow and see if I like that better. Oh, I like that much better. Okay. So I'm painting right to the edges because I don't want my marks to show. Now, if this was an ink and watercolor, I would definitely want those marks to show. I actually don't mind it. It kind of gives it a nice darkness there to the top. So I'm going to just scratch a few scratches in here. Kind of going to the edge there. And now if this starts to dry, I'll get some lifting, and if it's wet, I'll just get some dark lines. So I'm gonna have fun with that today. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Let's start with the gold. So I thought about leaving the numbers off, but I like it with the numbers. I want to give this to a raffle, so I think they like to know what year was the year of the horse. I think we all forget. Should I put a little bit of that dark in there somewhere? Maybe down here at the bottom, maybe here at the top. That didn't show up much. That's kind of nice. Okay, so while it's wet, I just take my credit card and do a little scraping. I'm really kind of just scraping along those pencil marks to sort of get them to disappear. And then I'm going to do like a dark one, crisscross one. Okay, that's enough. got so dirty. You know what? It's okay if I go outside the lines a little bit. I want everyone to know that this is, you know, hand painted. And I had coffee and no breakfast yet, so I'm gonna have little mistakes. They're just part of the painting. That's what happens when humans do artwork. Okay, and scratches. And the 6. I had that one going pretty well until I made that little. All right. Okay. I have dark lines showing there. I'm going to cover those up. And then I'm going to do some scratches. All right. There's my numbers. I can go over those if they get too light. Okay, I'm going to start with my horse. I'm going to start with the face, and I'm going to kind of paint to the right because I'm right-handed. So I want to get, that's really, let me move these numbers and just show you what the horse looks like. So I'm going to start with that face. So see how the face is very light, and then the eye is dark, and then the nostril and the eye have darks. That's what I'm going to go for right now. So I'm going to start with a orangey, just a really lots of water. Really, it's going to be like a dirty brush on the face. Let's see, that's maybe even too dark. There we go. Yeah. Just that's gonna, I wouldn't even mind if that were more pale, but it is what it is. And now I'm gonna go to the quinacridone. Whoever gets this painting's not gonna know how rare this paint is. I want these colors to bleed into each other. This is going to be very unique compared to, just every painting is going to be so different when you are using watercolor like this. Okay, I want that more pigment. And then there's this little dark reddish around the dark eye. I'll wait till these dry before I put the darks in. Okay, so there's the head. Now I'm going to go to the ears. Should I do the mane next? Okay, good idea. Okay, so I'm going to start with the quinacridone gold. And I'm going to go swoopy, swoopy. Swoopy, swoopy. If I don't follow the lines perfectly, that's okay. I just want to kind of, woo, I want it to be like fire. It's the fire horse. I'm trying to go over those water-soluble graphite marks to try to get them to sort of disappear. It's so pretty. Okay. Keep on going. So my ends are this gold color. Swoopy, swoopy. And now I'm going to go in with the darker reds. And I'm finding that the red that's working best is the permanent alizarin crimson with a little bit of permanent rose in it. So this is my beautiful dark red. Here I go. Okay, I'm staying in the mane. So the reds are kind of swoopy in here too. So that all dried so fast that I'm not getting any blending. Let me paint with a little bit of water and see what happens. What's this? A little bit of gold up here I missed. Let's see what happens. Will that blend a little bit? And there's a little swoopy right here. Okay, that's enough. I don't want to overdo it. And I'm going to try to put some scratches in this. Now, if it's kind of dry, I'll lift. See how that lifted? That made a little white scratch. And there's a lot of whites in this, so I like that. So I'm even, and then it drags, so I can, if I go like this, it'll drag that color that way and make a little scratch. So I don't want to overdo too much of that scratching. That's enough on that part. Okay, I'm going to go to the body and this leg now. So I'm going to go more with this permanent alizarin crimson and a tiny bit of permanent rose. And I'm just going to start here. it's important that I kind of feather this out because this is definitely going to dry before I get back to this area. So I want these brush strokes to be kind of, you know, curvy. I think I just need to do the neck and not the leg yet. So there's a little line that goes here and it goes around that. Okay, so I'm gonna do this much right now. So I'm just doing the neck really. Okay, so that's kind of pink. I like it though. And I'm gonna add some of the crimson to that. Making all swoopy, fiery brush strokes. And I'll go in with my credit card and do some scraping. Some places may go darker and there's like little swirls. This one, it went darker, the paint went into that area. If it's a little drier, it leaves a white. I like all of those marks. Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop. Now I'm gonna do the leg. So the hoof is definitely the darkest part of this, so I'm gonna start down there. A little bit more water in that paint. So when I put more water in it, I touch my water. I put about less than 1/4 of an inch of my brush into the water. I'm not adding much. Well, now that's a hoof, huh? I like that. If I can just get this last little bit here without messing it up. Oh, and it's got some fire hoof. Fire. Swirly. And then the knee. I'm going to paint with a little water. Try to get this to just sort of look more like a watercolor and softer in some spots. And I can add a little bit of gold in there, because if I have it everywhere else, I need to have just a little bit here. I'll just make it show up right here at this edge. Oh, okay, that's good. That works. Okay, and then the scratching. I think this is going to go dark on me, which is good. And then I'm going to put a line here at the hoof. Oh, it went white on me. Okay, whatever I get is what I'm getting. Okay, I'm going back to the gold. I'm going to do the back now. So here we go, this part. Now to the dark. The belly here is pretty dark. Starts dark here. While this is all damp, I'm trying to do the belly here, so I'm going to add water and start swirling this, coming up and around. A little more water. so that it's getting, there we go. That's pretty swirly. I don't mind that at all. I need to get my little scrapes in here though. Now I'm going down the leg. I see there's some light areas and some dark areas. I'm just covering my lines. That hoof is very dark. I need to get that same darkness down at the bottom of this hoof too, because it's got to feel uniform. Okay, I'm gonna scrape right here. I'm gonna put some scrapes into the leg because they're everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to do the underbelly in this back foot, back leg. Go from here. I don't usually leave a painting with a white background, but today I'm going to, because this is really the fire horse. And like I said, it's for an auction or to raise a little money for Lions Club, which I'm also gonna do this same lesson in my class on Wednesday. Oh, this is a little flick. Oh, we got a little fire. Okay, good. Again, now this hoof is farther behind, so it's not going to be as dark as the closest one, but it needs to be a little darker than it is. This one, I shouldn't have made that one so dark. This should have been the darkest one. The two that are closest should have been the darkest. This will be okay though. And I think I'll put a little bit of gold into that somewhere just for kicks. Maybe in here. Okay, and now, or even better, a little bit of fire. A little fire on that hoof. Okay, and a little scratch on the hoof. Okay, I'm going this back leg now. Same idea. I'm using the same colors. Here's the rump. Coming around the rump. So if I just make little swirlies everywhere, I can just blend anything. That makes it easier. All right, around here. This is just watered down alizarin and permanent rose. Now I'm going to get more of that so it's nice and dark. This hoof should be really anchored because it's the bottom one. We need a little fire. Fire. Okay, I'm going over this because it's a little darker in the photo. I want, and the leg that's closer to the viewer should be darker than the one behind it. I did make a mistake there, so I might try to lift that up later. Let's see how I feel. I definitely want this leg to look like it's in front of that back leg. There we go. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit of gold to the flame. And use my scraper to scrape in the hoof. That's been working pretty well. And some little fun lines going up. Okay, I have the tail and the eyes and the nostril left. I'm going to start with the gold at the tips. Looks like I made a little mess there, but I think that's going to get covered up, so I'm not going to worry about it. Here's my little flame. Flamey flame flame. Going into the orange and the red. I like when I put the paint down and then I go into it with more wet paint. That's when I like what the results look like. This is going to end up being enormous by the time that happens. The mistakes are usually the best part. All right, now I'm going to go into the more red, which is, alrighty, here we go. Come on, tail. See what we can do here. There's a white spot left. I'm going to leave that. My original white spot got painted, so I made a new one. Okay. When I paint these tiny little lines, what I do is I hold my brush straight up and down, and I'm just using like those last little, I'm trying to redo it to show you and I can't. Just using the last two bristles of the whole brush. Filling this in now with this color, and I'll go over it with a darker one. Oh, I almost went over my white spot. Okay, let's see what we got going. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be nice and dark. Okay, tail. Show me what a tail can really swoop like. Fire horse tail. So I want to do some scrapes in here. I'm going to scrape in here and try to get that little swoop to look better. So right there it was kind of dry, so when I scraped it, it made a white line. And if it's dry, it's wet, it makes a dark line. So I used both those. Okay, here's some little fire loopies here. There. Okay, now I'm going to go do the nostrils. What I'm going to use for the first time is a little bit of neutral tint and a little brush. This is a, I don't know, it's little, one. Okay, so I want to put the eye in. I'm going to try to leave a glint. I'm going to leave a little, okay, so I'm putting in the eyeball. I'm going to leave just the tiniest bit of white. So this eye has a glint. I went into a darker paint. It looks kind of, ooh, he gave him an attitude with that. And the nostril, now do nostrils have glints? They kind of do, really, huh? Because like it shines off that dark. Okay, I'm not going to put in a mouth. But there is one last thing, and that is this little shadow down here. And I'm going to use the neutral tint, but I'm going to water it down. I'm just going to make a line from the hoof, put the hoof back, and then this one back too. So it's just gonna, I'm going to put that line right underneath the hoof. So that's the occlusion shadow. Okay, I like it. What I'm not liking now is the color of the letters. So I want to go back in with this color, this pinky color that I had. I want them to be more the same color. Needs to match the horse more. That is better. I think what I could do is, because the horse has that goldy flick, what I can do is I can just put just a little bit of pure gold on the outside of this letter. Number. I got him letter the whole time. That looks better. So I'm making sure that my paint is clean each time I'm doing this, because because if I get the red in it, whoopsie, there I went too big. Oh well, that looks good that way. I'll do it there too. Okay, and then as soon as it starts to kind of pick up some of that red, I have to go back into my paints and get it like that. Now, I like that, but oh, I got a big 0. Okay, there we go. I know that they're gonna want me to sign this, so I think what I'm gonna do is just do right in here with the pale gray, MKJ. Maybe MKSJ. Maybe I even do Jolly. O, L. On that L, my brush separated. MKSJ. Good enough. Now I just want to decide if I want to. Okay, I think we're done. Thanks for watching. Bye.